Hey guys, I'm on the chain guard. Now, I've never put a chain guard on one of these, so I'm just trying to figure it out as to where I'm going to go with it and basically the style I'm going to do it in. I've done a bit of a layout on it here, which I'll show you in a minute. I've had a good think about this. I've been racking my brain for probably the last hour and a half, because they ain't the prettiest of things, are they, chain guards? I know you really should have one, but it's actually not an MOT fail. If the chain guard's on and it's all loose and rickety, yes, it can fail. But if there's not one there, they can't actually fail it. Yeah, I've got a mate that does MOT, so I get to find all these little things out. So I know some aftermarket chain guards on more modern bikes, they can start to look really, really cheesy. I hate them little cutouts with sort of gauze in them and stuff like that. It's just too much. And that's a definite no-no on something I'm trying to make look sort of old. So I think the best way is to keep it as simple and as plain as possible. A bit of style will get added to it because we're going to fit the brass bicycle pump to it. Now normally they go on top on the older bikes, but I think I'm going to do this one on the side down here because it'll stand out a bit more, because we've got the frame coming down here, and to put it on the top it will be slightly hidden. So I've got this great big gap at the side here, so we may as well have it on show straight down the middle there in that gap. I think to start with I'm going to cut the face of it out. I've got a basic plan here. I think I'm going to cut that out and just offer it up, see if it needs trimming, and just go from there really. Yeah, it's a difficult one because I want it to look good without ruining the lines and the look of the bike. So yeah, I think I'll cut this out and then we'll see what it looks like, and we can do any trimming and adjustments as we go along. And then we've got to do brackets for it, which again I think I'm going to keep quite basic to keep it sort of vintage looking, because you know, back then nothing was over the top. Every bracket was just there for a purpose, not to look fancy, I guess. But this is a bit of a mix and match between vintage looks and custom, so we got a lot of artistic license, I guess. Let's cut this out and see. I'll show you first. So this will be just the face of it. It might look a bit deep, but I've done extra just in case I do want to change its shape slightly, so it gives me a bit of material to mess about with. So we've got the curve of the rear sprocket here. Obviously we're going straight at the top because we've got to allow for chain tension wheel adjustment. So you know, I can't really loop it round and trap the wheel, so this goes straight for that reason. So yeah, I think I'm going to cut that out, offer it up to the bike and see how we go. If I like it, and then we'll cut some strips out to do the top, and then probably a tiny return down the back. Let's get cutting, see how it goes. Right. Just a quick one, if you're cutting a straight line, I'll use this for an example. You wouldn't use that obviously. A strip of metal, probably 5mm thick, clamp that and follow that, but I'm just going to do it freehand. Drop that. That's not like me to keep dropping things. Right, let's move this out of the way a minute. Get the sharp edges off this. Oh, maybe I should have cut that one as well first. Let's do that. Sharp edges. Alright, it's got a basic shape cut out. Let's see what it looks like. So it might not be bang on to start with. That's why I've sort of done extra. Well, that's not too bad at all up there. I'm quite happy with the wheel end. Not so clever down this end, but that's easy fix. Yeah, I think that shape's going to work. Oh, I think now we'll cut a strip for the top and get that on. Okay, that's top strip cut out. Done a little curve on the end. I basically just curved that in the vise. So now we want to try and plant it onto here. And obviously, the most important bit is keep everything straight as we're welding it. I shall do a few tacks here and there first, and then go for welding it all up. There we go. Now for welding it all up, you can see we've got the extra bit at the back there, and we'll trim that to as close as the engine as possible. I probably shouldn't really just go for a whole weld, because I think it'll be scrap after that. So we'll just do it in small bits here and there. Really, I could do with bolting. Could do with clamping a flat strip all the way up there while I weld it. But I actually haven't got anything that long knocking about, I don't think. Let's see, I'll have a quick look. Right, I lied, I have. It's a bit overkill. Big lump of 70x10 stainless. That should keep it straight. Keep it straight and hold it in a nice place for me to weld. This will be the most sensible Enfield bobber I've built, having a chain guard. I don't think we're going as far as the front mud guard though. I know people hate that, but they do look cool. It's a small sacrifice. Some people do actually like the front mud guard. They do like the look of it, but I'm not so keen on a bobber. It's all about stripping it all down, isn't it? So just about runs and goes along. No good for these guys that go to bed in a high-vis vest. It's not the bike for them. Well, hopefully when I pop them clamps off, this thing is going to stay straight. It should do, because actually the top strip, welding that on actually helps it a little bit as well. Come on, cool down. Oh, that's cooling down nicely actually. That big lump of stainless is dragging the heat right out of it. Let's unclamp it. Hopefully it won't go like a banana. Ooh. No movement so far. Awesome. I ain't sure if I've mentioned these clamps before. I can't remember. You know my memory is terrible. But these are Bessie clamps. They're German made. And I've probably had these close to 30 years. Used them all through the blacksmithing days, 25 years of that. In fact, I probably had them more than that then. Oh, I don't know. I'm getting old. And I think I have only ever broken one that I can recall. Because they really did get some abuse back in the fabricating and blacksmithing days. They really did. They are fantastic. There may be copies of them now, I guess. I think it's been so long ago when I bought these. They are called Bessie. I ain't sure if that's on them somewhere. They've just got Germany in the casting. And they are brilliant. The force you can clamp up with these is just phenomenal. Yeah, they've all just got Germany on them. There's a couple of them actually holding the turbo bike up. That's how good they are. But yeah, get the Bessie ones. You won't regret it. I think back then they were like 50 quid each or something like that. That'll last a lifetime. Right, never mind that. On with this. There we go. I'll probably put a little radius on there. In fact, let's do that now. There we go. God, there's always one, isn't there? There's always one bolt that wants to be difficult. There we go. Right, that's that out of the way. Now we should get that on. Right, we want to be about there, I think. Looking at it, I'm going to take that off. There's quite a lot going on down there with the bolts for the engine bracket, the shape of the back of the primary. I think if I'll take that off, and then we could probably do something that mounts off here for the breather and do that at a later date. This breather here, we could probably do some brass fittings there that will sort of fill that void. I think that's going to be the simplest way around it without making too much nonsense and clutter. Yeah, I'm going to chop it off. Decision made. Yeah, definitely. That's made it more simple. Obviously we're against the tyre at the minute. Like I said, we're going to trim all that to go around the mudguard and the tyre. We've got the main shape of it done. So we'll just keep chipping away at it till it's how we want it. Forgot to turn the camera on. I will update you. So, we fitted the oil tank. and the chain guard is a little bit close. There is a gap, but it's a bit too close. So I've cut out a little bit that'll go round it. Now I've just got to set this in and then dress it all back. So let's do that. Bit of DA when we've got some air. Hopefully, if I've got that in the right place, that should sit around that old tank all right. I quite enjoy making this. Okay. I'm enjoying making this. It's a bit of extra work, but I want this bike right just as much as Dan does. I want all my bikes right. I think you find, I'm not putting people down, but there is certain guys out there that'll just fly through bills just to get them in, done, out, give me the money. But I'm passionate about every single bike. I just want everything right. Sometimes not doing myself any favours for the time I put into them. But hey, it's enjoyable. Right, got some air. Still a couple of little pinholes there, but we'll take care of that when we've filling the powder coating pile up. I could do with ordering some more drum sanders for the drill, because they do bits like that really nice. Is this going to go in there? I have shortened it a bit. Yes! There we go. Alright, we've only put a little dip in there, so it's still nowhere near the chain on the inside. And it adds to the effect, I guess. Try and hold it there. It's getting there, isn't it? Obviously, when the battery box goes in this, I'll probably have to trim a bit on the inside, but we'll keep chipping away at it as we go along. Right. While I was doing the chain guard, a thing that happens quite often, I got into different things and trying to do other stuff, as you do. So I didn't film the entire end of it. The things I do miss on certain builds, we'll always catch them on another build. So, yeah, it's one of them. Sometimes it gets quite difficult to try and squeeze everything in and film every single detail and still keep the momentum of the build up. Yeah, it does get a little bit too much sometimes, but I do try my best to cover as much as I can. So yeah, bear that in mind. If I do miss certain bits of detail, you will catch it on something else, most definitely. Anyway, the chain guard's on. I've still got to do the front mounting points. I've done the rear ones, and I've got to do something down here for the front. Let's have a closer look. We've got the pump on, as you can see. I'll say we just got to do something down here for the mounting points, and then something in this void here, probably something that'll hold the breather onto the bottom of the engine. We are going to put another couple of things on this chain guard, which you will see later on in another video. Also a little bit on these, see these brackets, I haven't finished tidying them up there. You'll see little nicks in it where the weld's burnt in a bit. All that will be tidied up. But these little brackets here and here, I actually cut them off a Lee Enfield rifle trigger guard. I had a few of them knocking about, weirdly, and they just seemed ideal for that job. So I made some little brass bits for them. These are all just resting in there at the moment. They will probably get riveted on somehow, or I'll make some fresh ones, and doing so they screw in. We'll see. So obviously the pump comes out like so. I may put a stronger spring in the pump there, so it can't bounce off and end up down the road somewhere. But yeah, let's have a look here. So I had these trigger guards. God, they've been stuffed in the drawer for years. So as you can see, the ends are now missing off them. Up here. And they're now on the bike. It's just a little touch. So Dan's granddad would no doubt would have had a Lee Enfield service rifle. I know it's only a tiny thing, but it's a little talking point on the bike, isn't it? Definitely. So 2 trigger guards for the bin, 2 mounting points for the bicycle pump on the bike. Sorted. There we go. That's all done. Well, nearly, apart from the front. Next video will be... What will it be? What shall I do next video? Oh, it will be the visit with Dan. It's now Monday, I think it is. Dan came up Saturday, so we had a little rattle about the bike. Just sat, drank tea and discussed what we're doing. So that video will be after this one. And then after that, I made some fuel lines for this bike. I caught a bit of it, not all of it. So you'll see that after the Dan's visit video. Anyway, cheers for watching, guys.